So I think we are on. We are on. Are we on?
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the R Racing League, and this is your home of the greatest motorcycle racing action in the world. We're at round number 9 in Germany, and joining me in the commentary box is the Shooter. Shooter,
As
how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I just love this question. How you doing today? That means we just have another great race ahead of us, so we could commentate on it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. Lots of interesting things in free practice even today. Lots of really close times at the top between Rishi, Danny, I think Darius.
Darius is up there too, I think. I did hear some weird complaints from the Ducati guys about not being able to turn that Ducati, which I think it was a big problem all year long for them, not being able to turn that Desmo bike down.
Yeah, it's this is such a windy. This track is like just one long turn basically, and that's kind of where the Ducati seems to be struggling. But I don't know. You can still put a fast lap on it. It's just going to be tricky.
Yep, you just gotta be really, really smooth. I think in real life, if you can compare it, Lorenzo was maybe the only one who could really turn that Ducati, and maybe Stoner, but Stoner is like a very old time and was a completely different bike. So I think Lorenzo could be a great comparison for those Darius VR46 and Desmo Denny. And I think we are missing a couple of racers today.
Yeah, we're missing Dreen. Taking his spot is Sloppy Warlock on the Yamaha M1.
And we're missing
Who
Atom, I'm
else?
pretty sure. And
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if we have a wildcard for him.
I don't know, to be honest.
And we missing also KG, our one of our first person racers. So
Yeah,
we,
he's out today.
yeah, that is right, and we'll be only with Yana Ninja. As I think,
Yeah, Lorenzo on that Ducati though. He's such a smooth rider. For him to be able to ride smoothly on that Ducati, that wouldn't have been an easy task
yeah, I
because
think
it's
so
not a
too.
smooth bike.
Yeah, that's not. I think like that bike is really really stiff. Maybe even some clicks on the suspension won't change the stiffness of this bike. And since this track you almost always on the lean, not much on the straight. If barely on the straight, then I think there is no advantage for the Ducati guys at all.
Oh yeah, that bike is leaned over all the time on this track.
As I'm pretty sure Desmodani will be the one who sets the first lap and our benchmark for the rest of the qualifying. And it is a 18.2. Darius comes second, 0.1 second after him.
Vazels takes pole
Vazels,
position.
yeah, that's 18.0. I think maybe gonna put him on the front row, but it's just the start of the qualification, so too early to say.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we'll see a few faster laps than that yet.
And I think we could say this once again, and this is not a curse anymore because he won the race. And Rishi might be our, I think, favorite for this race. He was putting the fastest lap, not by far, but he was putting the best laps throughout free practice all week long. So
Yeah, very, very good laps from Rishi. He's putting in some smoking hot ones. We'll see how he does. Hopefully we're not giving him the commentator's curse like we've been doing all season long, but he got his first win finally after qualifying first place in 6 races. It must feel good to finally take home that win in his hometown too. His
and
hometown hero that day.
yeah, that was a home race, and he just used it as the advantage, used the audience, used the fans. He had a huge audience and fans there. It was just great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they would have been pumping him up for sure.
Yep, as he's the only one setting fast lap, probably gonna take pole position.
I'd imagine so.
And he takes pole position 17.6.
Oh,
That's a very, very good lap by Rishi.
very good qualifying lap. He's going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe. He's gonna be on our pole man. Not a surprise though. If
Yeah,
you
not a surprise at all.
if you stick the
This
whole
is, if he
season, so you'd know that.
If he does take pole, what is this going to be? 8 out of 9 pole positions, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too.
He's gonna win the pole position prize for sure this year.
Oh,
As he
as he
goes
just
down.
crashed. Yeah, he just crashed, lost the rear there, just low side. And let's talk a little bit about Blake JR, our only German rider in the lower tier, and that's his home race. He's on
That's
the.
right. He's the hometown boy this weekend.
Yeah, that is right. So he has some high hopes out of himself and also from his fans that just feeling the crowd here.
Oh yeah, he'll also be feeling the pressure a little bit. I
Yeah,
know if it was my hometown race, I'd want to do really good too.
yeah, that is right. And being on the Ducati, it's not so much of an advantage here, but I think he'll use the crowd and use the energy he gets to just bring a good result.
He will. I think so too.
Yeah.
It'll be an interesting race. It's such a windy, tight track, but what I've noticed about it is there's lots of different lines you can take. You can take a little wider line in certain turns or a tight line, and they both end up working out in the end. So it'll be really interesting to see the different bikes, which lines they take, and hopefully they don't intertwine too bad and end up bumping each other up. But
Yeah,
it's going to be a really cool race.
those first laps gonna be a real mess because some people will go really tight, some people will get pushed and shoved into a wider line, and when the race just carries on, people will get into their rhythm, and there you could see really the lines that people usually take.
Yeah, once you're a few laps in and everybody's kind of settled in, it won't be such a mess. Like everybody's going to be bumping into each other, I'm fairly sure, in the first couple laps.
Yep. As there is currently putting a red first sector, that is gonna be pretty much of a shock if it takes pole position from Rishi.
I think this is the guy that can do it, though. Darius has been a very good rider all year long.
Goes gray second sector. But one thing that is not so good we could say about Rishi, he's pretty consistent in the qualification, kind of reminds me of Fabio, but he was not really delivering it in race days.
He's getting swamped right at the start of the race. It seems like he needs to get a good launch off the start. If he can do that, I imagine he'll end up in a very good spot coming into the first few laps. But if you're getting absolutely demolished off the start-finish line and find yourself in the middle of the pack, well, you basically screwed yourself over for the first half of the race at least.
Yeah, I do think you just need to have a really good start, and that was something, for example, Lorenzo did throughout his career. He was just disappearing off the line, just risking it soft, and just disappearing. You'll never see him. You see him on the first lap, and the second lap you just don't see him anymore.
Oh, and that guy is like a robot. I loved watching Lorenzo when he'd get into his zone. He's like exact same line every lap, exact same body position. It was such a cool thing to watch. He didn't make any mistakes.
Just smoothness. Smoothness is the best word to describe him.
He is buttery smooth, that guy. I can't believe it. It was great watching him. I'm glad he's test riding for Yamaha now, though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is going to be really interesting to see how much he can develop. Like the bike, which that is right, he needs some development, and after being 2 years in Ducati, 1 year in Honda, so he knows a little bit about the competitors, and I think it's gonna be a real advantage for Yamaha.
Oh, very much, yeah. It's gonna be an interesting season. It's a shame that he hurt himself last year, because I think that's basically what knocked him out of the MotoGP, or made him question what he's doing, really, because didn't he break his back last year?
Back. I can't even describe how dangerous that is, and when a rider just asks himself, is it really worth it? And that injury really broke him mentally.
Oh yeah, but being a 3-time champion already, he's had a very nice career. Yeah. It's not a horrible thing just to be done. You're leaving on a pretty good note.
Yeah, that is right. And just worth mentioning, 3 championships just in MotoGP. He had 2 just before so he's overall 5-time world champion.
Yeah, that's something you can definitely brag about. Not a lot of people get to say that they did that in their career.
And it seems like most people putting fast first sector and second sector, but Rishi must have had such a good third sector.
Oh yeah, the Honda I like the Honda in sector 3 and 4. It feels really nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to try the Yamaha around this track. I bet you that's a really nice bike to ride around here.
Yeah, for sure. I can say this about myself, and there is always room for improvement. I didn't put so much of a work because some business goes outside the computer, but
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you got to take care of your stuff in real life as well.
yeah. You see Vladimir Jaeger a little bit chasing Johanna Ninja. As I'm
Zells
on
goes
board
into
with him.
pits. You're going on board with Vladimir?
Vladimir, yeah.
We're getting a little close in the qualifying laps.
Yeah. Ooh, is Johanna Ninja just hits the wall there.
Darius again going red in sector 1.
I don't think Darius is so satisfied with the place he is right now.
No, he's going to want to move up for sure.
Yeah, putting red sectors after red sectors, but just being stuck at 6th place, I think he can improve, and I think he knows he can improve.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with 6th place. He's still number 2 on the standings in the championship.
I think he is. I think he is. Just 20 something points away as he just goes invalid lap, goes a bit out of the way, lets Vladimir through.
Yeah, top 5, Desmo Danny, 151 points, followed by Darius VR46, Atom, Vizels, and Rishi. Vizels and Rishi both sitting at 49 points back.
Yeah,
Not impossible to win the whole championship yet.
Yeah, I
the
think
math has been done.
Yeah, the math has been done, and I think we came to the conclusion that if Rishi wins, that Rishi brought us up, so credit to him. If he wins every single race, is that right? And
Yep.
Desmodeni finishes 2nd, he'll win the championship just by 1 point.
1 point ahead of Desmo Danny. If they're both performing at their peak, that's how it's going to end up. With Rishi on top every single race.
Yep. So, championship is pretty much open. Could be that Desmodeni won't be able to participate in one race, and that can change a whole lot.
Oh yeah, I'm bummed that you weren't there for 2 whole races. I wanted you there.
You know, that must be sucks, but I think I'm satisfied with sitting currently 3rd place. I reclaimed it after losing it, so...
Oh yeah, you've had some really good races.
As we come to the last stages of the qualification.
Big Darius went wide. I was on board with him, but he must have ran wide at the bottom of the waterfall.
Yeah.
Rishi, though, what are you doing, man? Going red in the first 3 sectors. Oh my god, he's looking to crush the pole position.
As I'm on board with him with front camera just to see a little bit of his lines. As we said, it's very individual into each rider and each bike, how they take the line, as Rishi just improved, and I think if it was not clear already, he just said, this pole position is mine.
Yeah, back off everybody. I'm the man to beat today, he's saying.
It's Peter. Goes 2 red sectors, now orange. Is he gonna push Desmodeni out of the front row?
He hits the apex, gets a good drive coming out. Into the last turn, up the hill, hard on the gas.
As he barely almost takes Desmodeni 3rd place on the front row.
Oh, that's close. Peter, I think, is going to be a force to reckon with in this track as well. That Suzuki, I haven't ridden the Suzuki around the track neither, but I assume that would be a really good bike with it has such great corner speed and stability.
Yeah, I think that's not, it doesn't fall so much off from the Yamaha.
No, yeah, maybe a little worse than the Yamaha in that case, but It's got some speed to it too. Like it's quick.
As the checkered flags is out and Vazel's having 2 reds and 1 orange, gonna go across the line and probably improve. As he does, 4
Yeah.
tenths exactly behind Rishi.
We'll have 1:17.7. That's a pretty good qualifying lap.
With Sloppy Warlock currently. Gonna go also across the line. And we have only 2 more riders, I think, or 1 more rider that is gonna finish the lap, and it's Peter.
There we have it, folks. That's the qualifying laps of the day. We got Rishi sitting on pole position.
Behind him,
Very,
Vazel's,
very good. Yeah,
which
Vazel's.
that means 2 Honda, Repsol Hondas. Yeah.
Ooh, it's the Honda track today.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Marquez won here for the last decade, so
Yeah, a decade.
yeah,
How crazy is that?
just absolutely crazy. Desmond Denny currently third on the Ducati, fourth it's Peter, fifth Vladimir, Darius is currently sitting at sixth, finishing that second row. Sloppy Warlock seventh, Blake Jar eighth, Heaton is ninth, and Johanna Ninja finishing the grid, our first person rider on the Suzuki.
I think Sloppy Warlock won't be too disappointed with that. I talked with him during this week during some practice, and he's definitely been making some improvements. So I think he won't be too disappointed with that finish.
Yeah, I think so
See how
too.
he does in the race. This is a really easy race to crash in as well. I mean, every race I say this is easy to crash, but
I think the first corner, it's a bit downhill. If you brake with the front a bit too much, so easy to lose the front. So here you don't, in this race particularly, since it's cloudy, and the forecast says currently that it's not gonna rain, and the rain is not with us, which I'm glad about.
yeah.
So you don't have a problem of overheating too much the front tire. So would be really interesting to see if we're gonna have some crashes at the first corner, as if it was sunny, it might have been it was.
Yeah, with that hot tire, you can definitely slam the brakes into turn one. Like lap one, turn one, the cold tire in a hard downhill braking section is going to be really tricky to keep a good line through.
I think Cloudy could go. There are so many different strategies here, so would be really interesting to see if someone really gonna just risk it, go for the soft and just pull away. If you put like half a second each lap for the first half of the race, I think you'll be set for the rest of it. And I don't know,
Trying
anyone
to
would
keep the
go
tire
soft.
cool for the rest of the race. Yeah, I don't know if I know personally soft. There's no way I can make it last.
Yeah.
I'd have to be like extremely fast for 3 laps and then extremely slow. That'll
Yep.
be interesting. Here we go, everybody. Round number 9 in Germany of
Yep.
the R Racing Championship.
15 laps into Sachsenring as Pullman Rishi red lights, and away they go. Vazel's with such a great start. Rishi just drops
It's
3
Peter
places.
is a great start too.
Yeah, Desmond Dan is currently second. Oh, Rishi a bit upset. Pushing and shoving, a lot of pushing and shoving.
Got a Honda 1-2 followed by 2 Ducatis, and then it's Peter.
Rishi reclaims the second place. Vladimir Jaeger just crashes. Our Yamaha rider. A lot of pushing and shoving.
Looks like a Ducati going wide in the background as well.
So Vazelis takes first place. Oh, he just crashed.
Did you crash too?
Nope. It's just this milestone bullshit.
Oh my goodness.
That's a bummer.
Oh my god, I'm so frustrated. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the race.
More like the qualifications.
That's it for today. Oh my god, milestone. Please don't do this anymore.
I think just the last 2 races just incredible. Darius 46 just crashes.
Goodness.
I don't know, should I commentate by myself now?
Yeah, you can commentate by yourself. I'm gonna hop out of the Discord and I guess just chill for a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe gonna put some laps, warm up a little bit. I'm just gonna do the
Yeah.
best commentary that I can, and then I'm gonna post it later on.
All right, sounds good, Shooter. Have a great rest of the race, and I will talk to you later.
Yeah, sure. See you later, Limit.
Yeah.
As Rishi currently sitting 4th place, we quite missed it because we talked about Limit crashing out of the lobby, but Desmodeni currently sitting 2nd place, chasing Vazels. He wants that 1st place and he won't let him get away. Approaching the waterfall, sorry, turn. Into the hard left turn. Very slow corner. Desmodeni putting the fastest lap. Trying to catch hard Vazels. It's Peter currently sitting 3rd place on the Suzuki, Rishi at 4th. After losing 4 places, going down 4th place. That's must hurt for him, and I think that's a problem he had all year long, just not having such a good start for the races, but then he just starts picking it up. But will be really interesting to see if he does now. Heaton currently on the Yamaha, sitting 5th place. Vladimir, after crashing, nice to see him back at 6th place. Johanna Ninja, our 1st person rider, 7th place. Big respect. Blake JR, our German rider in his home race, 8th place, trying to catch down Johanna Ninja. After him Darius and then Sloppy Warlock. We'll be back right now to Desmodeni, which gets really close to Vazels. Closes a bit at the end of the straight. Desmodeni really pushing it to the limits out here. Vladimir Jaeger really closing down on Heaton, going a little bit wide. Vladimir Jaeger with a beautiful overtaking Heaton at the end of the waterfall. We'll be back with Vazels, currently still leading the race as it's really tight up there. Rishi takes 3rd place from its Peter at the end of the straight. Didn't quite catch it. But I don't think it's Peter gonna just let him go. As Vazels pushing and trying to get away from Desmodeni sitting on his tail. Or maybe just Desmodeni trying to learn Vazels a little bit before he overtakes him. Sloppy Warlock crashes there at the back of the grid. Rishi posting the fastest lap, I guess it was last lap, 17.7. That's a really fast laps by him. As they go side by side, who will be stronger on the brakes? And it's Desmo Danny, as we know he's hard on the brakes, as Vazel. Beautiful cutback by Vazels. As we just see Desmo, Danny and Vazels currently fighting, and Rishi being really fast. Oh, Desmo Danny on the grass, who just give up the second place to Rishi, as we know is now Rishi. So Desmo Danny from being chasing, starting to be chased by Rishi. Vladimir Jaeger crashes again. And Rishi with a beautiful maneuver, almost overtaking Desmo Danny at the end of the start finishing straight. As those tires are working very, very hard on the left side. Rishi just holds on the second place from Desmo Danny. What a very clean move by Rishi. Well done job. It seems like it's Peter a little bit off the pace, not being able to stick with those guys in front. And looks like Vazels not really being able to run away with it, as Rishi and Desmo Danny just had a little bit of a fight. I thought Vazels gonna push the lead a little bit more than second. And looks like Rishi's gonna chase him down too, if he's not gonna make any mistake. Lead cuts down into 0.9 seconds. As it's Peter cutting a little bit the lead to Desmo Danny. And I think the objective of Rishi will be getting the best position he can each race, as he wants Desmo Danny to be as far from him each race. And that is how he's gonna build his comeback into the championship. Rishi is really fast in this track. As he goes, as soon as I said it, as Desmo Danny goes to, Rishi just crashes from contact with its speeder. As its speeder uses the advantage of Desmo Danny and Rishi running both wide into the grass. Its speeder currently sitting second place on the Suzuki. It looks like Vazels is gonna use this as an advantage to just get away with this race and maybe win. Is pretty sure it's his first race. As we jump with Blake JR trying to catch down Heaton. At the end of the straight, a little bit of contact. Heaton cutting back down on Blake JR. As I think I missed a crash from its speeder. That just crashed and lost second place to Desmo, and Rishi gains third. But its Peter doesn't give up and and tries to catch down Rishi. As we know, he's upset from his crash. Will we see Darius coming back? As we see all those crashes from the top riders. Vazel's currently sitting in a very safe place. 4.2 seconds gap from Desmodani. We see Blake JR. Just the speed of that Ducati on that straight, even that's a very short straight. Blake JR overtaking Heaton very easily, I should say. Running a little bit wide, but both of them running wide. So Blake JR sticks to 7th place. Our German rider in his home race. As Darius cutting the gap to its Peter very quickly. It was 2.5 seconds, now it's currently 1.6. Its Peter crashes again just as it turns into the waterfall. As we know, it's the first right-hander turn after a lot of left ones, and the right side is very cold. Darius regains 4th place. Rishi currently sitting at 3rd place with a gap of 2 seconds from Desmo with 5 laps to go. But one mistake, guys, that's all it takes to just change how the championship is gonna look like and who's gonna win the race. You could have favorites, but you can just throw it out of the window. Ooh, big wobble from Rishi. It looks like he's cutting down the gap to Desmodani. As we know, he wants to just stay ahead of him. Running very wide at the first turn. As we know, this turn can be really tricky. Vazel sitting very safe at the first place. He had a 4-second lead, but it's cutting a little bit down, but I don't think there is enough laps in order to him to lose the first place, as it's currently 3.5 seconds. But one mistake, it's all it takes. It's Peter, 5th place after some crashes. Very, very disappointing race so far for him, as he already was 2nd place and he maybe could see that podium, but one mistake, guys, that's all it takes. Darius, 4th place. Vladimir, 6th, also after a couple of crashes. Blake JR, German rider. Oh, as he just crashes! Gotta be very, very disappointing for him in front of his fans. Hitting the only North America rider we have here. Sloppy Warlock, 10th place. Quickly at the back of the grid. Johanna Ninja, our first person rider on the Suzuki. As we see the gap closing down just a little bit, lap by lap, but there is only 1.5 laps to go with 1.2 seconds gap, which is just not enough. Desmodani closing the gap from 4 seconds to 3 seconds to Vazels, but that's also just not enough time left. And I think all riders just gonna settle for their places. Down the waterfall, into the left turn. Vazels going up the hill to start the final lap of this race, the 15th lap. Beautiful job by him, managing after a couple of battles he had, trying to take the first place from him. He managed to stick it up and stay in first place, as he had a lot of crashes behind him that I'm pretty much he was not much aware of, but I think he's gonna be very, very satisfied with his first win of the season. Down the waterfall into the last section of the circuit here in Sachsenring. And Vazels going up the hill to finish the race, finishing his first victory of the season. Desmodani 2nd, Rishi 3rd, closing down that podium. We have 2 Hondas on the podium. Darius with a big wheelie, very nice wheelie, taking that 4th place. It's Peter, 5th place. Vladimir Jaeger on the Yamaha on the M1, 6th place. Blake JR currently 8th, but there is Hidden in front of him. Gonna go across the line. Blake JR 8th, Johanna Ninja 9th, and Sloppy Warlock 10th. As Vazels wins his first race of the season on the Honda. Very nice job by him, managing to stick it even though he had a lot of pressure. And there you go. Here are the stats. as we have
Hello.
Vazels here in the park, Ferme. How is that? I'm pretty sure it was your first win of the season. How that feels?
I'm so stressful now.
I mean, that's
Like
over. That's over
I
you. There
have
is
I
no
have also
reason.
fist tank there. I don't know if it's sounding, but yeah, if it sounds
Yeah,
anyway.
you just sound great. Just give us a couple of words about how the race went, and you had a lot of battles going on at the start of the race. As
Yeah, in the first lap, I had a really good start. I expected the Desmo pass me in the first corner because Ducati has an amazing start. And yeah, I didn't expect it to be honest. I really needed a podium, but I knew I can do something, and I just did it. I'm so happy about this.
and I'm very very happy for you. Just beautiful
Thank you,
race,
thank you so
beautiful,
much.
great job. Keep it up.
Thanks so much, and good luck to your race.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.